And you can see right here that you have your theme options to customize the colors, the look and feel, the font style, the page layouts, and everything else for the header and the footer over here. So we can also upload our new logo in the header section. So if I click on header right here, you can see that we have the logo and site identity. So if I click in here, down here we have the logo image. I'm going to remove that pre-made logo and I'm going to click on select, and I want to upload all my demo content all at once right now. So if you want to do the same, if you don't have your own images yet or product images or anything, you can download the zip file for the demo content for this e-commerce tutorial. And what we can do is just click on select files. And in my folder right here for my demo content, you can open it up and you should see all your images here. So I'm going to select them all and just click on upload. So you can see that we have all of our demo content uploaded here, and at the bottom, at least on my page, I have my demo logo right here. So I'm going to select this for the e-commerce website and click on select, and you should see it show up right here. So what we can do in the theme settings is we can also change our colors if we want to keep the top bar, and also these colors for the links and all of our text, and even some of the spacing and layout options. So if you want to also upload a logo for the light version, if you want, you can, and you can change the logo width and also the padding if you need to. So all I'm going to do right now is just leave it just like this, but if you want to change the positioning, you have the option right here. And I'm going to click back right here, and you can see with the presets, if you select this, then you can change the header area type however you want with the layout options right here. So you also have the header builder down here. So what you can do is if you wanted to change what it shows on these sections, you can click and move this stuff around. So you can see I can drag this to wherever I want it. And then I'm going to place it in this area. So I'm actually going to remove some of this stuff. So I'm going to remove the top bar also. And I can keep the social icons, but I'm going to remove the account and also this little divider. And for the text right here, I'm going to change that. So what I can do is I can click into this, and down here in the HTML, I'm just going to remove this text and paste in the text from the demo site. So I'll just paste in my text right here, and I have some HTML to make this text bold. And if you want, you can type in whatever text you want. And we can click back right here, and I'm going to click on the publish button just to save this really quickly. So what I want to do is go through what I would change for my own demo website, but you can always pause the video to go through everything else on your own. So I do have the top bar enabled. You can see that we have it right here. But if you want to change this or maybe get rid of it, you can always disable this, and you can see it disappears just like that. What I want to do is change the background color. So I'm going to use certain colors for my e-commerce website, and I'll recommend them to you, but you can use whatever colors you want. So if you want this section to look black, then you can just drag that wheel to whatever color you want. I'm going to paste in a color code right here. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to type in the color code A50D35. So if you want the same color, go ahead and put that in. And then you can change the navigation style if you want, and even the navigation colors if you need to. But I like everything as is right now. So I will click on back right here. And then for the header main, if you want to change anything here, you can. I'm going to just make sure, and I want to make sure that we have the navigation colors. So right here for the text colors for these links, I'm going to change this to black. So I'm going to just drag this to the corner so you can see that the text turns black there now. And then if I wanted to change the hover color, then I can also do that, but I'll leave it just like this. And then for the icons, I'll change this to black also. Okay, and I'll leave everything else. And this is just, again, what I'm doing for my own online store with WordPress, but you can choose whatever options are best for you. And for the buttons for the header, there shouldn't be anything to do here. So we don't have any buttons on my website. And for the cart, if you want to change your icon style instead of what you see right here, then you can change that over here. But I'm going to leave everything as is, so I don't need to change anything. And I'm going to click back again. And that's pretty much it for this section. The only other thing that you might want to do is if you have the icons, you can click into the social icons And then you can put in your own URLs right here for whatever shows up over here in the header socials. So if you have a pound sign or your URL, then it's going to make the icon show up. So just keep that in mind. And I'll just leave it as the demo with these placeholders. So I won't change anything there. And then we can go back to the main section, and just know I'm going a little quicker than usual here because I think everyone customizes their own online store how they want to. So if you need to, you can always pause the video to go a little bit slower also. So for the style tab, we can come in here, and if you wanted to change the font style for any of your fonts, you can do that here, but I'm going to leave everything as is. But for my colors, I want to change the primary color. You can see that there is a lot of this navy blue color and these orange colors. If you want to change these colors, what you can do is come in here and just change the color codes. So I'm going to put in the ones that I would use for my website. And so for right here for the primary color, we're going to change this one also to the A50D35. So once I have that, I can click out of this, and I want to change my base colors to this color code 0A0A0A. And then I'm going to just use the same color code for the headline color. So again, 0A0A0A. And then for my link colors right here, first I will put in the first 0A0A0A, and then I'm going to use the red color code right here. So that is A50D35. Okay. So if I come down and I want to change any other colors, I can for any of this other stuff, but I'm going to leave everything as is. And again, click on the publish button just to save everything. And then I can go back right here, and I can go back again. And then for the blog page, I'm going to just set everything up right now. But just know after you make your own online store, if you want to change any of the layout options, you can do that on your own. Okay, so for the blog global, I'm not going to change anything. But for the blog layout, I want to get rid of the sidebar. So I'm going to click on no sidebar right here. And then I'm going to keep the post layout just as is. And I'll go back to the single post so that I can change this layout option to the no sidebar option also. And I'm going to keep everything else as is. So I'll click on the save button just to save that. And then I'll go back. And for the blog featured, I don't think I changed anything here. So I'm going to leave everything as is. And then in the WooCommerce tab, this is going to be for the shop page, the catalog page, and the product pages. So if you want to have the same look and feel of the demo e-commerce website, then we can go into the product catalog. And for this tab right here, I want to make sure that I have the left sidebar selected, and I'm going to keep the details the same. And on this page, I want to just make sure that I have the left sidebar selected, and I don't make any other changes. I keep the products per page at 12. So again, you can come in here and change for the shop page if you want to. And then for the product page, this is for the individual product pages. I get rid of the sidebar. So I select no sidebar right here. And I keep everything else as is. And we can always come back if we don't like what we see as we go through this e-commerce tutorial. If you want to change the payment icons, so over here on the bottom, you can see that there are some icons right now. If you want to remove any of these, then you can just click on the eyeball. So I'm going to remove the cash on delivery option, but I'll keep the other ones, and maybe I'll even include Apple Pay just to pretend that I have that one. So again, you can change whatever icons that you want, and we're going to customize the footer in a little bit also. So it's not going to look exactly like this anymore. So that's all we have to do for the WooCommerce tab for the online store, at least the demo one. And the only other thing right now, because we aren't going to be formatting much of the footer right now, is for the share icons. If you want to change what shows up for sharing your products, you can come into the share icons and change them here. So maybe I'll get rid of Pinterest or email. And then what you can do is you can come into the footer, and I'm going to disable some of these footer widgets or these areas. So I'm going to disable the footer 1, so it's going to get rid of that area. And then I'm going to also get rid of footer 2 because I only want this bottom section. And then I'm going to get rid of footer 2 because I only want this bottom section. So what I can do is I can come down to the absolute footer and I can change my website name right here to my online store. So I'll just type in Emmingdale and I'll keep the HTML to populate the year and all that stuff. And then I want to center this. So I'm going to click on center right here. And then for the background color, I can change this to the color that I want also. So I'm going to type in the color code A50D35, and you can see that this is what the footer looks like. So you can put in whatever color if you want to change it right over here. And again, I'm going to click on the publish button right there. And then the other thing I want to note is for product sharing, if you want to change what shows up, the icons to share, you can change them over here in the share section. So I'm going to leave everything as is, but I just wanted to note that. And a little bit later, we'll come back into the header section to customize our header menu and even the footer menu if you want. But that's all we have to do for now. So I am going to, again, make sure that you click on the publish button to save everything. And now let's click out of this to go back to the WordPress dashboard. And once we're back on the WordPress dashboard, now what we're going to do is show you how to customize your homepage. So we'll insert some slider images that you see right here. And we'll also change our buttons and add our images for our products and our different catalog sections and even our text and all this stuff. So what we're going to do is go to the home page on the WordPress website. So what we want to do is hover over pages and click on all pages.